everyone. It's El LaShawn, the ADHD cutie. I know I'm early today. Normally I go on at 5:45, but holiday work schedule is a little crazy right now, so I'm getting in where I can fit in. So it's 11. I want to say just real quick, hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful, happy Thanksgiving. Be a little extra patient, a little extra kind, especially with your ADHD children and with yourself if you also have ADHD. Again, it's not taking a break because it's the holiday. It is what it is. We are very emotional because emotional dysregulation is a big part of ADHD, which many people don't want to talk about, including the professionals that diagnose it. But it is a big part of it. So if your kids seem to be more emotional, have more breakdowns, or if you seem um, less patient, more anxious, easily frustrated more than usual, remember it's a part of your ADHD, but just take a deep breath, calm your brain. And you have to calm your brain first before you can help your child. Remember, put on your life vest first and then help your child. As long as you're anxious, your child is going to be anxious. You cannot calm them if you're not calm yourself. It's just the way it works. That's in any situation, whether you're ADHD or not. You have to calm yourself first in order to calm them down. As far as the schoolwork, I know a lot of the schools like to give those like winter packets, I believe they call it, or something like that, either this time of the year, like during the Thanksgiving break, and or during the Christmas break. If it's not mandatory, if they're not getting a grade for it, if it's not going to help boost their grade, give them a break. Just don't do it. Maybe pick out a few things that can help to strengthen their executive function skills or just a few problems that they may be lacking as far as their grades in school to help practice while they're not in school and not under all that pressure. But other than that, give them a break because we got to realize that as ADHD kids, their brains are working overtime twice as much as a non ADHD student just to try to get the everyday work done. The homework, the assignments, the research, the reading, the taking notes, all of it takes extra effort for an ADHD child. And also remember that ADHD usually does not travel alone, so there may be some comorbidity issues that they're dealing with that you and your doctor haven't even recognized yet. So those may be some symptoms that you're seeing that don't make sense to you or that you don't recognize. Have some patience, have some love. More now than ever. This world is just rapidly changing and it is completely different from what we were raised in. We can no longer say, oh, well, yeah, I dealt with it and I turned out fine. Well, you probably didn't. You may think you're fine, but no, there's something going on. You have an ADHD child. You are also ADHD. You've just figured out some ways to hide or disguise your symptoms in order to stop the shaming and blaming and the name calling and whatever else you went through. That doesn't mean that you're cured. There is no cure for ADHD. So we have to be honest with ourselves first and foremost. You can't help your kid with an ADHD if you're not being honest about your own because you're going to struggle with it. And trust and believe your kid is going to bring some of that stuff out. It just is what it is. I know you hate hearing that, but it is. You got to deal with the ADHD kid and their brain that they have. Stop expecting their ADHD brain to function and perform like a regular brain. Yes, there are some things that they do great, just like other kids, some things that they do that exceed other children. It's because it's things that they're interested in, things that are interesting, that holds their attention, that's not boring. That's the key. Figure out how to best help them do it their way. Do it in a way that's interesting, that's not boring. That's why they're struggling in school. It's boring. It just is. It's boring. I know they need it, but it's boring. They may not be able to do it a different way in class, but they can definitely do it a different way at home. Take more breaks if they need to, stand up and do the work if they need to, have the TV or radio on if they need to, whatever works for their brain. You're not them. You cannot say that that TV is distracting. You're not getting any work done. The TV is distracting. Now, if they're watching the TV more than they're doing the work, then yeah, it's distracting. I would say let them listen to their music. My son used to put his iPods, his ear things in his ears, and he would just work, work, work. That helps him to focus. You may think it's distracting now. If the kid is over there just, bopping and getting down and singing and there's no work being done, then yeah, it's distracting. You got to find something else. But if they're getting the work done and it's right, let them have the music. It helps more than it hurts. When they're at home, if they're having to like sit at the kitchen table or if they have a desk in their room, then games and everything else must come out of the room. It's a distraction. You can't watch them 24/7 while they're doing their work. It is a distraction. Take it out. Or either don't let them in that room if they need to do some serious work. It's one or the other. Um, I used to get my son one of those big yoga balls that he could sit on, or either a chair that rotates or that he can move and wiggle around, that the chair moves. Maybe he gets his work done, who cares how he's moving? If he needs to stand up and do the work, who cares? As long as he's getting it done and it's right. And make sure you're checking it. I know a lot of the stuff that they do we don't really understand because they do it so differently in schools now, but just at least check it to make sure it's done. Double check to make sure they've put it in their backpack. Double check to make sure they're putting it in the backpack where they can find it, where it's not just balled up and crumpled down in the bottom, because they're going to forget it. Out of sight, out of mind. That is how it works with the ADHD brain. If it's not right there in our face, we are going to forget it. It is what it is. So those are just some tips that I wanted to jump on here and share with you. Because I've been there, done that. I know how it is through the Thanksgiving holiday. The schools like to give a lot of work. But like I said, if it's not impacting the grade, I wouldn't worry about it. Just give them a few things to, help keep their brain active and going and working, or give them some executive function exercises to do, jumping rope, playing basketball, playing some kind of sport. If they're not into sport, and every kid is not, and don't push it if they're not. Do something else. Jump rope, ride bike, go swimming. Swimming is excellent. Excellent. Something that's fun. Even though it's an exercise, it can be fun. I once said exercise had to be just boring and lifting weights and running on the treadmill and yeah, that's not for everybody. There are other ways to exercise. Dancing is a perfect exercise. Put on some music that you both love, and you can dance together. Get your exercise on together. Okay, those are just some ideas. So again, I hope you all have a wonderful, safe, and happy Thanksgiving holiday. And I will see you all next week. I'm not sure what day right now, but I'll try to let you know, or I'll just go on live like I am now because, again, we're in the holiday season and the work schedule is just crazy right now. So, love you all. Stay safe. ADHD Cutie signing out.